I've been probing around on YouTube lately, looking at especially at newcomers to intactivism. I don't even know if you can really call it that. I'm looking at young people who, if you're on a circumcision related video, or you comment, circumcision is evil, circumcision is child rape, it needs to be outlawed. These people will heartily agree with you. They're not necessarily intactivists. They wouldn't conceptualize themselves as intactivists, but they agree with our premise essentially. And I've been trying to. They're not they're not the seasoned intactivists, and they're not really people that you'd call intactivists per se, but they agree with us. And I've been usually young people, and I've been trying to probe into how exactly they were awoken to circumcision. And it is, they report, I get into conversations with these people in YouTube comments, and it comes down to basically two videos on YouTube are the biggest source of enlightenment and awakening. The number two is probably the Joe Rogan circumcision video. Joe Rogan, I believe, is a radio talk show host, and he's actually done at least two segments on circumcision. One of them, there was one with Milo Yiannopoulos where they get into an argument. Milo wrote a weird article on Breitbart. I believe the title of the article was "No One Wants a World Full of Uncircumcised Penises," or something like that. No one wants to live in a world of uncircumcised penises. This is coming from an uncircumcised gay Jew from Britain. And Joe Rogan and him get into this big argument, and it's an interesting video in and of itself. Actually, that might be number three. That might be the number three video. The number two video is where he's on his own talk show with, I believe, his female co-host, and they're talking about circumcision, and he basically lays into it and says, circumcision is barbaric. And like I say, he lays into it. That's the number two video, and the number one video of waking up young people to circumcision is the Adam Ruins Everything video. There's this host, I guess his name's Adam, and he does these videos debunking all sorts of myths and urban legends, historical inaccuracies, and he debunks them and sort of disseminates the truth, warts and all, dispels all the mythology and tells you the truth about various things. Very popular series. It's sort of a comedic atmosphere. But these are the top videos, and I'm thinking about what this might mean. I always like to examine, whenever there's good PR, good propaganda, I try to pick it apart and learn from it. I think the Adam Ruins Everything one might be the most telling, because it's sort of this youth culture of cynicism, very cynical, very biting, very satirical young youth culture, sort of mixed in with the skeptics. It's not literally, the skeptic crowd, but just generally skeptical, cynical people. That may be very interesting going forward. The Joe Rogan one, it's a popular video. I guess people just like, they like the no nonsense. They like, the minute circumcision gets mentioned, Joe Rogan was right on top of it. It is barbaric, coming from a circumcised American. In a way, these videos coming from Americans also serve another role of providing permission from regular, popular, circumcised American guys, giving permission for circumcised American guys to be angry. This is one of the big steps I actually think needs to be overcome. Intactivism needs to not just be sort of an obscure movement of obscure men. It needs to have regular guys need to have permission to, put down their sunk cost fallacy / Stockholm syndrome and actually embrace the hate. Get angry. Young men need permission to get angry. In the case of the Adam Ruins Everything video, he pretty much goes through circumcision piece by piece and eliminates every possible reason that a circumcised man could throw up for his, like I say, his sunk cost fallacy / Stockholm syndrome circumcision situation. Or women too. Women can be circumcised, or they can be part of the circumcision culture without, I don't literally mean circumcised. American women are, there's no longer any tradition of female circumcision to the small extent that it ever really existed in the first place. But they can be by proxy. They live the circumcision through their circumcised brothers, their fathers, their boyfriends, their husbands, and God forbid, eventually their children. Although the culpability and the anchoring to circumcision reaches a whole new level once you've had children and circumcised them. It's a bad situation. But anyway, the Adam Ruins Everything video just blasts through all those reasons that any circumcised man or circumcisionist woman could ever, lay person could ever put up for circumcision. So that, again, I like to analyze good PR, good propaganda. We need to pick things apart. We need to come up with good material and good content going forward. Again, I think the job of intactivists, to the online anyway, is to just keep the conversation going. Make sure that circumcision will ever be circumcision, foreskin, male genital mutilation. Those concepts will ever be on the minds and lips of Americans. We can't let people forget about it. So tell me what you think. Take care. Bye-bye.